And now urgent new steps to try to protect innocent civilians in Syria. We heard President Obama just a short while ago saying he wants every tool possible to stop the slaughter. World leaders are meeting in Tunisia to put pressure on embattled President Bashar al-Assad. And here in the U.S., officials are talking about new ways to help Syrian opposition forces. Here's our Pentagon correspondent, Barbara Starr.
Syrian regime forces show no sign of letting up their assault. But Secretary of State Hillary Clinton urged those Syrian forces to disobey orders.
Their refusal to continue this slaughter will make them heroes in the eyes of not only Syrians, but people of conscience everywhere. They can help the guns fall silent.
The Obama administration has now identified key Syrian military officers and intelligence operatives believed to be directing much of the violence. Many could remain in power even if President Bashar al-Assad goes, according to a senior administration official. That leaves the U.S. and its allies struggling for a way to help the disorganized and fractured Syrian rebels in the face of a deeply entrenched regime.
It's very important that in the coming days, the full range of opposition groups and individuals inside Syria, including representatives of all ethnic and religious minorities, come together and make their voices heard.
Clinton announced the U.S. will provide $10 million in support, makeshift medical facilities, water, and food. CNN Foreign Affairs reporter Elise Labott is in Tunis at an international conference on Syria.
U.S. officials, others are saying, listen, there is more than enough aid being stockpiled on Syria's bordering countries that could then be funneled in tomorrow if only President Assad would allow that aid in.
But should the U.S. send arms?
At this point, I think it's a terrible idea, though. I think that right now, since you have such a fragmented opposition without any clear leadership, that basically you don't know who exactly you would be arming, and you'd be throwing a lot of weapons into a really, really unstable situation.
For now, the U.S. is still secretly collecting intelligence on Assad's regime. Satellites are flying overhead, looking at tank movements and gun battles. The U.S. is also intercepting communications between Syrian commanders. One source also said neighboring countries are quietly sending in operatives, spies operating directly on the ground. And look, Gloria, experts will tell you, even if you arm the Syrian rebel groups, they are never going to be able to match the overwhelming firepower of the Syrian regime, and it could turn into a worse bloodbath. It's one of the key reasons that the U.S. and the allies are very much pressing right now, at least, for a diplomatic solution to all of this.
Barbara, thanks so much. Very difficult decision to make about arming the rebels.